Hello everyone, this is Iféoluwa. I haven't made any sort of recording for a while, not for any particular reason. Um, but I just had some thoughts, basically about the nature of power. Um, Power has always been an issue in my life, because I'm a powerful woman, and people saw that in me before I even saw it in myself, like even as a little girl. Sometimes people would call me scary, and it made me feel bad because like I was the type of little girl that just wanted to be friends with everyone, so I didn't really want to come off sort of scary. And to be called scary as a little girl, doesn't really have positive connotations. As I've gotten older, I've realized that's a compliment because I realized the nature of patriarchy, I realized the nature of misogyny. I realized that, a powerful woman cannot be controlled. And in a world where men are weak and are desperate to control women, if you can't be controlled, you can't be a part of that system. And so basically your very presence is a threat to the system, you know? Your very existence is a threat to male power because male power is defined as, control or dominance over women. So men who define power as, dominance over women, cannot feel powerful if they cannot dominate you. And if you're a powerful woman, they cannot dominate you. Therefore, these men, they feel weak because they are weak. I mean, it's all fake. It's like, a man who's insecure about being short. So instead of just accepting that he's short, he finds a woman who's tall and makes her wear shoes on her knees, to pretend like she's shorter. And that's like the nature of patriarchy. It's all these like tiny, weak men taking, brilliant, strong women and making them, walk around with shoes on their knees like idiots so that they can fool themselves into thinking that they're all powerful. But it's like, it's all just a charade. It's a game that as a woman, if you refuse to play, you're ostracized, you're attacked, all this stuff. This is a really impromptu recording that I'm making in bed. So like you're literally hearing my covers now. Anyway, so yeah, I was just thinking about how, I mean, I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of possessions. I don't know powerful people. Yet people are still afraid of me as an adult, and people with money, power, connections feel incredibly threatened by me. And I'm just like, what? But I think that, going back to the charade that we're all forced to play, pretending that all that matters is the external, that all that matters is, money and status. That's another charade. Because of all the people that I've met who've had fame, who've had money, either of the two or both, they're always very miserable. And after I get to know them for a while, they start to reveal their jealousy of me. And I would always think, why would people who have everything that our society tells us a person should want, like, money, or maleness, or whiteness, or fame, why would this person feel threatened by me who has none of those things? And then I realized it's because I hold true power. I hold feminine power. And the difference between feminine and masculine power is dominance and control over the external. It's dominance and control over things. Men feel powerful when they can control everything outside of themselves, but these same men can't control themselves. They can't control their own instincts, their own drives, their own will. They're petulant children, really, but they have a great deal of control over material things, and to them that's power, whereas feminine power is internal. I have control over myself, I have control over my will, I have my control over my desire, I have my control over my mind. You can't make me do things I don't want to do. You can't tell me what to value. You can't tell me that I'm not valuable. You can't tell me there's certain things I cannot do, not because you control me physically, but because you cannot control me mentally. You cannot control me internally. And I think people who define power the masculine way, which is control over everything outside themselves, are impotent in the face of somebody who controls everything inside of themselves. Because you cannot control me externally if you cannot control me internally. And men are very, very manipulative because weak people tend to be manipulative. They can't explicitly take control. So they try to sort of subversively behind the scenes pull the puppet strings. Women get tagged as manipulative, but men are much more manipulative. Emotionally as well. I really haven't encountered a man who doesn't try to manipulate my emotions to control my behavior. Because I'm the type of person where on the surface people see my sensitivity, and so because they define power as masculine and they think masculinity is a lack of emotion, if they perceive you as emotional, they will also perceive you as weak. So because, I speak softly and I'm kind and I seem like I'm compassionate, they assume that they can manipulate these emotions. But as I said, I have control over myself internally. So, including my feelings, I can feel for you, but I can not feel for you. I'm not compelled to feel things for everyone. And I learned that very young, that, I need to gain control over my emotions, and I need to be able to turn them off at will because not everybody's deserving of it. But most people, they just see sensitivity and they expect weakness, especially when you're a woman, and especially when you're a woman like me who, speaks softly and is polite. And I don't know, even my appearance, I've always looked very young for my age. So, I think most of my life, I think up until 30, people still thought, I think it was when I turned 30 that people finally started seeing me as legal. Because I remember being 28, 29, and people would think that I was 18 years old. So, I don't know, I think when you're in the situation of having to, when you look young, and you're black, and you're from Africa, and you're a woman, and you have a quiet personality, you kind of, all those groups of people that I described are people that society perceives as weak, whether weak in will, weak in intention, intellectually weak, physically weak. So it's when you have everybody assuming that you're weak, they treat you as such. They try shit constantly. So you're put into this position where you have to constantly defend yourself. And I don't know. I've managed to retain my softness. I'm still, and especially in America where black women have to be loud. Like people get really angry for some reason when you have like a quiet, reserved personality and you're a dark-skinned black woman. But I don't know. I've managed to maintain that, but still scream on a bitch when I have to. But it's like, I don't know. It's just like a tool that I whip out because I know that's the only language that most people understand. I've been in situations where I've said things kindly and politely and they think that you're a dumb bitch. So then you have to scream on them and then they do what you gotta do. But then you're scary, you know? So it's like, I don't know. If being scary gets you to act right, then I guess I'll just fucking be scary. Like, all of these words are basically used to make sure that women remain passive at all times and never stand up for ourselves, you know? Just like, you know, people try to say muscles make a woman look masculine. No, they fucking don't. Fit muscular women look hot as hell. But if you're a strong woman, you can kick the shit out of somebody who fucks with you. So men who go around feeling superior to women because they're physically stronger can't really take advantage of women physically if they can get the shit kicked out of them if they try the wrong woman, you know? So, you know, everything that will generally benefit a woman, like physical strength, intelligence, strong will, power, is deemed negative so that women would not want to develop these traits and men can continue controlling us. And I don't really know why women, especially straight women, like why do straight women still play into that shit? Because it's like it seems glaringly obvious to me. But sorry about the noise. I don't know if you can hear it, but somebody's just like, their backyard is so fucking dirty. And so they just inexplicably pick up junk and move it to the other side of the fucking yard and then go inside. So I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, I don't know why straight women play into this shit, but they do. And I always ask myself this question, you know, like, especially like black people who play into stereotypes and, you know, have their inferiority complexes and buy into all this shit. Like, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good, so why do you do it? You know? Like, why would you go around making fun of dark-skinned people when you're black? Why would you go around making anti-black jokes when you're black? Why would you go around telling intelligent black people that we talk and sound white when you're black? I don't really know why a black person would play into this shit because it doesn't benefit you to walk around thinking that it's black. Being black means that you're like a fucking inarticulate idiot with no class or grace or dignity. But I don't know. Black people play into that just like straight women play into the whole like weak inferior thing. I don't know why people would rather hate themselves than love who they are, but that's kind of how people operate on the planet Earth. And they take out their insecurities on, you know, black women, and in my case, African women, because I get, you know, Western black women taking that shit out on me. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that the fact that, you know, feminine power is internal, which makes it more formidable, because only I can control what's inside me. You know, like if I think something, it's because I choose to think it. You can't make me think something, you know? If I feel something, it's because I choose to feel it. You can't make me feel something. And if I believe something, it's because I choose to believe it. You can't make me believe something. I mean, that's a internally strong person. And so if you can't make me think something, if you can't make me feel something, and if you can't make me believe something, you have zero control over me whatsoever. And I think people know that, and it scares the shit out of them. They're like, holy shit, this is an African woman, and I can't control her at all. And I think the fear comes from, believing in the inferiority of African people. Because in my travels, I've met all types of people, and they're generally terrible. But all of these terrible people tend to think that Africans are even worse than they are. So if you meet a liar who's not black, they assume that, well, black people are even more liars, so you have to watch out for them. If they're cruel, they assume that, well, black women are even more cruel, so you have to watch out for them. So I think people know how disgusting they are and what they would do left to their own devices. So when they see an African woman who can't be controlled in any way, they assume that, like, all the shit that they would do if they had my power, I would do worse to them. I mean, I'm just, theorizing. I have no clue what other people think. And I'm 100% sure that if I actually knew how other people thought, I would never go near another human being in my life. So I'm super happy that I cannot read minds. But yeah, I think women, especially black women, especially African women, should not let themselves be brainwashed into thinking that power is something that you have to relinquish in order to be accepted. And they also should believe that, power has to be masculine, because, doing what I do, you come across, white men all the time who have powerful positions. And they're always shitheads. They're really cruel, they're arrogant, they're racist, they're sexist, they're demons. And they've told themselves that that is how a powerful person is. Like that comes with the territory. And it's not. And so I think when they come across me, I don't know, like I don't mince words. Like if you're a piece of shit, like I'm going to tell you you're a piece of shit. I don't care what you do for a living or how much money you have. And the thing that I realize is that they know it. Like white men know they're terrible and they know their behavior is terrible. Men in general know that they're terrible people. Like they know that they're awful and the way that they behave is disgusting. But it's just that everybody accepts it, and men will do whatever you let them get away with. So since everybody accepts them being terrible, they're just terrible, And I found when I confront these men and tell them that they're terrible, like they know. So I think realizing that, non-black people know what they do and how they treat us. Men know what they do and how they treat us. So let's cut the shit, I think the turning point for me was realizing that non-black people and men know exactly what they're doing, and they treat us like this as black women because they like it. Even black men, they always trash black women to make themselves feel better, because if we're not on the bottom, then they are, So once I realized that, like, black men know that they're destroying black women, but they just don't care because they feel good about it. That's how most people are. Like, most people are weak, and weak people tear down others to feel powerful. So, yeah, I don't know. I've never seen any value in attaining power in the masculine way, because you just end up like everybody, They have money, they have status, but they're evil and they're miserable. So what's the point? And then, somebody comes along who has internal strength and internal power, and they run away with their tail between their legs because they can't compare, because they've never built those, they've never used those tools. They've never had to use their mind. They've never had to use their heart. They've never had to use their self-confidence. All they use is brute force and aggression and white skin or their penis. They've never really had to build skills and abilities like I would have to build skills and abilities to succeed, you know? Because I cannot just use white skin. I cannot use having a penis. I cannot use having connections. I cannot use being rich. So I have to succeed using myself, using my brain and my talent and my abilities. And so people who've never had to do those things because they can just be loud and aggressive and get things. I think I hold up a mirror to them and to everything that they lack, you know? And people will try to break the mirror, you know? They don't want to change themselves. They won't look away. They'll try to break the mirror. So I think if you're the type of person who lives in a way that's true to who you are, you will hold up a mirror to everyone in the world that doesn't. And so when they look at you, they'll see who they are, and then they'll try to break the mirror. So I think that I think people who are powerful in a feminine way hold up a mirror to how the masculine definition of power severely lacks and can't really stand up, you know, can't really hold a candle to feminine power, which pretty much upends, you know, patriarchal belief systems. If feminine power is formidable and masculine power is fake and empty, how can patriarchy be valid? It's not, you know. And the more women realize that, the more it won't be able to survive, you know. So I don't know, I've gotten to the point where I'm proud to be scary, you know? If people aren't calling me scary or crazy, I'm not doing anything to benefit myself, you know? When an African woman does something that benefits her, she's scary and crazy. So as long as I'm being called scary and crazy, I'm fine. And frankly, being this person keeps the right people away. And it always has. So if you're scared, good. Everybody else, have a lovely day. Bye.